Welcome, boys and girls, to the next chapter of Eugenia Lincoln. Crazy Eugenia, right? Okay, chapter 6. Here we go. Eugenia got into bed and pulled the covers over her head. But even from underneath the covers, she could hear that the accordion music and the clapping had begun again. General Washington crept out from beneath the bed and got under the covers with Eugenia. Meow, he said. Oh, look here. Here they are, under the covers. Honey. Eugenia could still feel Gaston's fingers on top of her fingers. She could still feel the note from the accordion reverberating in her body. It was a strange feeling, but was it necessarily a bad feeling? Nonsense, said Eugenia out loud into the darkness. And then Eugenia remembered what Frank had said. Do you want to know who sent you the accordion? It's very mysterious, isn't it? Eugenia hated to admit it, but it was mysterious. It was unsettling. Who indeed? The world was confusing, unpredictable, and chaotic. Eugenia disapproved of confusion, unpredictability, and chaos. But despite her disapproval, there still existed mysterious accordions and pigs that sat on couches and little men who wore green velvet suits. Eugenia pulled the covers up even higher. The storm outside continued. She could hear the rain beating down. The raindrops were so loud, so furious, that they almost drowned out the sound of the accordion music. Almost, but not quite. Underneath the covers, Eugenia put her hand on her heart. Was there truly music in it? Look, here she is, trying to feel the music in her heart. Ridiculous, said Eugenia out loud. Gewgaws, whoop-de-woos, frivolity. From the kitchen there came the sound of laughter. Eugenia Lincoln's heart just the let me say that again. Eugenia Lincoln's heart hurt just the tiniest bit. She wasn't sure why. In the morning, Eugenia rose from her bed and went out to the kitchen and found that it was in severe disarray. Chairs were overturned, crumbs were on the counter, unwashed plates were piled in the sink. There was an entire fruitcake in the center of the kitchen table. A fly was hovering over it, buzzing happily. Baby! Baby! Shouted Eugenia. I demand an explanation. Oh, she doesn't like the messy kitchen at all, does she? The only answer was the buzzing of the fly. Business cards littered the floor. The cards were covered in strange and alarming words. Taxidermy, joyous, predictions, palpitations, truffles, fleas. This is unacceptable, said Eugenia. She walked into the living room and encountered Gaston Latreau asleep on the couch, still wearing his velvet suit. His velvet hat was on his head. His hands were folded on his chest. There was a smile on his lips. The accordion, that instrument of torture and chaos, was on the chair beside the couch. Tell me I am dreaming, said Eugenia. Surely this is a nightmare. And there is Gaston, asleep on the couch. Gaston's eyes fluttered. His smile deepened. He said, Ma'am, I can show you. The music is within you. Eugenia put her hand on Gaston's shoulder and shook him violently as violently as she dared. His eyes remained closed. He smacked his lips and said, Yes, the truffle, of course. The pig will be very useful in this regard. Wake up! Eugenia shouted. Gaston snuggled more deeply into the couch. Eugenia turned her attention away from the little man. She looked at the accordion. Actually, she glared at it. And horror of horrors, she felt it glaring at her in return. You are losing your mind, Eugenia Lincoln, she said out loud. It's time to put an end to this nonsense. All of it. The frivolity, the chaos, the whoop-de-woos, the little men in green suits, the music in her heart, the talking aloud to herself, all of it had to stop. Eugenia picked up the accordion. It was very heavy, extremely heavy, entirely too heavy. So there she is, shaking Gaston. Gaston made a snuffling noise. He smacked his lips. Eugenia looked over at him. She looked down at the accordion in her arms, and then she tiptoed across the living room and out the front door. General Washington followed her. Chapter 7. Eugenia walked east in the direction of the rising sun, the accordion in her arms and her cat at her heels. The light of the world was gray. A low mist clung to the ground. Eugenia had no plan. She only knew that the accordion must be disposed of somehow. She could put it in the trash. She could throw it in the river. She could bury it. It would have been helpful to sit down and make a list of all the options, but there was really no time for list, was there? She had to keep moving. Soon Gaston would wake up, and then the chaos and the clapping and the talk of hearts and what they held would begin all over again. The accordion was awkward to carry. Also, it felt like it was getting heavier. Eugenia stopped. General Washington stopped too. Meow, said the cat. Everything will be fine, said Eugenia. Order will soon be restored. She put the accordion strap over her neck, and the accordion immediately felt lighter, more manageable. Eugenia walked on. General Washington stayed at her heels. The sun came up, slowly burning the mist away, and then it appeared in its entirety, the whole and shining and glorious. Bah, said Eugenia to the sun. She continued marching past. To the east. She shaded her eyes with her hand. The question remained, what should she do with the accordion? Shall I burn it? Bury it? Throw it out to sea? Said Eugenia. Meow, said General Washington in an approving kind of way. Eugenia, too, liked the way the words sounded. She said them louder. Shall I burn it? Bury it? Throw it out to sea? Truffles and butterflies and taxidermy and fleas indeed. She would set the world to rights. Burn it, bury it, throw it out to sea, Eugenia shouted. Where are you going, Eugenia Lincoln? Someone said. Eugenia stopped. She turned. She looked around her. The accordion let out a wheeze of surprise. Eugenia saw no one. She was having auditory hallucinations now. Had it come to that? Up here, said the voice. Eugenia turned. The accordion squeaked. I'm up in the tree, said the voice. Eugenia looked up and saw Stella, Frank's little sister, sitting in the branches of the elm tree. Stella Endicott, said Eugenia, what are you doing up in the tree? Thinking, said Stella. Trees help me think. Do trees ever help you think? What are you going to do with that squeeze box? It's an accordion, said Eugenia. What are you going to do with that squeeze box? Said Stella. Are you going to burn it? Bury it? Throw it out to sea? Eugenia felt her face getting warm. You shouldn't eavesdrop on people, she said. What does eavesdrop mean? It means to listen in on other people's conversations, said Eugenia. It's impolite. You shouldn't do it. You were shouting, said Stella. I couldn't not hear you. Nonetheless, said Eugenia, it's rude. Stella climbed down from the tree. She said, can I try the squeeze box before you burn it, bury it, or throw it out to sea? It's an accordion, said Eugenia. So here's a picture of Stella up in the tree. Can I try it? I'm in a hurry, said Eugenia. I know, said Stella. You're always in a hurry, Eugenia Lincoln. Can I play it? Oh, for heaven's sake, said Eugenia. Please, said Stella. She stood on one leg. Eugenia noticed that the child was barefoot. Where are your shoes? Said Eugenia. I'm not sure, said Stella. She looked around in a vague manner. I think I left them somewhere, but that's fine. You don't need shoes for climbing trees, or for thinking, or for playing a squeeze box. It's an accordion, and you shouldn't be running around in your bare feet, said Eugenia. Why not? You'll catch a disease. You sound like Frank, said Stella. He worries all the time, too. Sometimes siblings know best, said Eugenia. I don't know what a sibling is, said Stella. Can I play that squeeze box, please? Oh, for heaven's sake, said Eugenia. Fine, but only for a minute. Goody, 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 said Stella. She hopped up and down and held out her arms. Eugenia moved to lift the accordion from around her neck, and in doing so, brushed her fingers against the keys. A sound came forth, a sweet sound, an unexpected sound. Eugenia froze. Pretty, said Stella. Play more. And Eugenia did. Eugenia Lincoln closed her eyes. She squeezed the box and pushed the keys down and felt a song coming out of her. A song. How did her arms, her hands, her fingers know what to do? Somehow they did. Eugenia played and Stella clapped, and Eugenia's heart lifted up inside of her. It was the most marvelous, unexpected thing that had ever happened to her. It was mysterious. It was joyous. The sun shone down. The sky was a bright and brilliant blue. And there's Eugenia playing. Oh, here's another one. Stella's dancing around. She's loving it. How does Eugenia look? What do you think the expression on her face is? Does she look happy? Sad? Surprised? Is she in wondering? Eugenia Lincoln played the accordion, and when she stopped, Stella said, You can't burn it or bury it or throw it out to sea, Eugenia Lincoln. You have to play it and play it. She hopped from one foot to the other. But can I try it now? Can I? Can I? Oh my word, Stella is so excited. She wants to give it a try. Well, boys and girls, that's all for now. Tune in next time to hear the end of the story. Bye.